Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranja Yasodanandana Braja Janaranja Yamuna Tera Vanachari Yamuna Tera Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Radha Sama Sundar, Radha Sama Sundara. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramansa Parivrajacharya Ashtadarasada Shri Srimad Shri Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya Vishnupada Paramansa Parivrajacharya Ashtadarasada Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Jaya Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jaya Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौगोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय श्री वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा देवी जमुना देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री प्रभुपाद ट्रांसडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय श्री श्री गौर निताई की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर ललिता विशाखा देवी की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashta Prayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukhaṁ karati vācālaṁ pangulangayate girim Yat kripātamaham bande Sri Gurum Dīnataranam Sri Paramananda Madhavam Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam yena bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeyam Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangsya Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shagana Raghunatha Nitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Visakha Nitam Sa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th Canto, Chapter 2, Text 29. Durlava manuso deha dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Mataji. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabho manuso deho dehi nankshana bhanguraha tatrapi durlabhang manne Vaikuntha Priyadarshanam. Durlabha, difficult to achieve. Manasa, human. Deha, body. Dehinam, her embodied beings. Kshana bhanguraha, prone to be destroyed at any moment. Tatra, in that human body. Api, even. Durlabham, more difficult to achieve. Manne, I consider. Vaikuntha Priya, of those who are dear to the Supreme Lord, Vaikuntha. Darshanam, the vision. Translation and purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Translation. For the conditioned souls, the human body is most difficult to achieve, and it can be lost at any moment. But I think that even those who have achieved human life rarely gain the association of pure devotees who are dear to the Lord of Vaikuntha. There is a long purport, 3-page purport. Purport. According to Srila Siddhar Swami, the word Dehinam means Bahavo Deha Bhavanti Yesamte. The conditioned souls who accept innumerable material bodies. According to some wishful thinkers, a living entity in the human form of life will never be degraded to a lower form such as that of an animal or plant. But despite this wishful thinking, it is a fact that according to our activities at the present, we will be elevated or degraded by the laws of God. At the present time in human society, there is no clear or precise understanding of the nature of life. Foolish scientists have invented highly sophisticated terminologies and theories to bluff innocent people into believing that life comes from chemical reactions. His Divine Grace S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has exposed this bluff in his book, Life Comes from Life, which points out that although scientists claim that life comes from chemicals, they cannot produce so much as an insect, even from unlimited quantities of chemicals. Actually, life and consciousness are symptoms of the spirit soul. In Life Comes from Life, page 43, Srila Prabhupada has stated, living beings move from one bodily form to another. The forms already exist. The living entity simply transfers himself, just as a man transfers himself from one apartment to another. One apartment is first class, another is second class, and another is third class. Suppose a person comes from a lower class apartment to a first class apartment. The person is the same, but now, according to his capacity for payment or karma, he is able to occupy a higher class apartment. Real evolution does not mean physical development, but development of consciousness. Within every species of life, there is consciousness, and that consciousness is the symptom of the living entity, who is the superior energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Without understanding this essential point of the transmigration of the conscious living entity throughout 84 lakh species of life, one cannot possibly understand the words Dullabha Manusa Deha. The human body is very rarely achieved. People are now being cheated of this essential understanding. They are completely unaware of the danger of slipping back into the 8 million species that lie below the human species. It is natural that a human being think in terms of progress. We want to feel that our life is progressing and that we are advancing and improving the quality of our life. Therefore, it is urgent that people be informed of the great danger of missing the valuable human life and that they know of the great opportunity the human life affords, the opportunity to take to Krishna consciousness. Just as on earth, different residential areas are divided into high class, middle class, and low class. Within the universe, there are upper class, middle class, and lower class planets. By practice of the yoga system, or by meticulous execution of religious rituals, one can transfer himself to the higher planets within this universe. On the other hand, by neglecting religious principles, one will degrade himself to a lower planet. But the Supreme Lord Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhuvana loka punar avartinorjuna. Thus, the final conclusion is that every planet within the material universe is an unsuitable and inappropriate residence, because on each planet there are the primal defects, old age and death. The Lord assures us, however, that in His transcendental abode, which lies far beyond the material cosmos, life is everlasting, blissful, and absolutely cognizant. The material world is temporary, troublesome, and rife with ignorance. But the spiritual world called Vaikuntha is eternal, blissful, and full of perfect knowledge. The highly evolved human brain is a gift given by God so that we may use our intelligence to distinguish between that which is eternal and that which is temporary. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.16, Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah, ubhayorapi drishtantas tu anyos tattvadarshi. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that matter has no permanent existence, whereas the spirit soul never ceases to exist. Learned seers have concluded this by studying the nature of both. Those who have accepted the Spirit Supreme Lord and His abode as the ultimate goal of life are called Vaikuntha Priya. Here King Nimi states that to have the personal association of such learned transcendentalists is certainly the perfection of human life. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur suggests that we consider the following verse. Nrideng adyang sulabhang sudurlabham plavang sukalpang gurukarnadaram mayanukulena navasvateritam uman bhavabdhi na taret sa atma. The Supreme Lord said, the best of bodies, a human body, is a great attainment, rarely achieved, and may be compared to a boat. The Guru is an expert captain for this boat, and I have sent favorable winds, the Vedas. Thus I have given all facilities for crossing over the ocean of material existence. Any human being who has achieved these excellent facilities of human life but does not cross over the material ocean is to be considered the killer of his own soul. Bhagavatam 11.20.17. According to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord, being controlled by powerful feelings of mercy, descend into the material world as Vaishnavas to deliver the conditioned souls who are bound by the results of their own mundane work. Such Vaishnavas also distribute their mercy to those who are laboriously searching after the impersonal absolute. Sri Narada Muni has stated that without ecstatic love of Godhead, such laborious impersonal contemplation of the Absolute is certainly troublesome. Naiskarmyam api achyuta bhava varjitam. And what to speak of the innumerable problems of ordinary gross materialistic life. We have practically experienced that in the Western countries, most people are working hard to get money, laboring under heavenly dreams of sense gratification. Others, having become frustrated with ordinary materialistic life, are trying to negate their personal existence and merge into the existence of God through so-called yoga and meditation. Both classes of unhappy people are receiving the mercy of the Krishna consciousness movement, putting aside their dreams of sense gratifications as well as their troublesome impersonal speculation. They are learning to chant the holy names of God, dance in ecstasy, and feast on the holy food offered to the Lord. They become enlivened by the transcendental knowledge spoken by the Lord Himself in the Bhagavad Gita. As the Lord states in Bhagavad Gita 9.2, Susukham kartum abhyam. The actual process of spiritual freedom is joyful to perform and has nothing to do with fruitive activities aimed at sense gratification or with dry impersonal speculation. More and more people are taking to the process of Krishna consciousness, becoming joyful and eagerly distributing Krishna's mercy to others. Thus, the whole world will be enlivened and inspired by the Krishna consciousness movement, which is the practical demonstration of the mercy of the Vaishnava. So here in this verse, King Nimi is actually glorifying the Nava Yogendras by his prayers, that how he has got the opportunity to get the darshan of the Nava Yogendras who are Vaikuntha Priya, those who are very dear to the Lord of Vaikuntha. Or it can also mean that Vaikuntha is the dear of those people. They are also Vaikuntha Priya. So, Vasudev, the father of Lord Krishna, has taken the opportunity to inquire from Narad Muni about the ultimate goal of life. And Vasudev has already asked Narad Muni that in my previous life, I had prayed to get a son like the Supreme Lord. But I have never asked for my own benefit, how I can be liberated from this material world. So now I am asking you this question. Please tell me that how I can be liberated from this material world. What is the ultimate goal of human life? So this was a very valid question. And this type of question is actually beneficial for all human beings. Because when the great souls ask any question to a great devotee of the Lord, they don't just ask for themselves. They always ask for the benefit of the whole world. Same thing we see when Parikshit Maharaj asked the question to Srila Sukadeva Goswami. Though he knew the answer himself, still for the benefit of the whole world, he asked the question to Srila Sukadeva Goswami that what is the ultimate goal or ultimate duty of human beings? And in answer to the Parikshit Maharaj's question, Sukadeva Goswami described whole Bhagavatam. So here Narad Muni, he is also, while describing to Vasudev or answering his questions, he is quoting about Nava Yogendras. And this Nava Yogendras, those who are the sons of Lord Rishabhdev. So they were traveling all over the universe. Even upper, lower, all those planets in the universe. And they were distributing the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And their intention was to benefit the living entities. So, by hearing about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all the living entities will be benefited. That's why they were traveling all over the universe and speaking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when they arrived at the court of Maharaj Nimi, so Maharaj Nimi, who was also a great devotee of the Lord, took this opportunity to receive these great souls, the Nava Yogendras, and asked them the question which will benefit himself and also benefit the whole world. So here, Maharaj Nimi is actually first glorifying the Nava Yogendras and then glorifying his own fortune. So, Dullabhang Manusa Deha Dehinang Kshanabhanga. So, Maharaj Nimi is telling to Nava Yogendras that in this material world, to take birth as a human being is very rare. Because the living entity traverses throughout the universe in different species of life. And as we have seen, or we know, there are 84 lakh species of life. And out of that, only 4 lakh species are of human beings. And 80 lakh species, they are either plants or animals. So sometimes people think that once you take birth as a human being, then you will always take birth as a human being. You don't have to go down to lower species. So this is a misconception. Because we are getting these different bodies, different types of bodies, because of our karma. Law of karma is there. According to the law of karma, we have to accept different species of life. And once after getting this human species, if we did not endeavor to get away from this cycle of birth and death, and we behave like animals in human species, then naturally our next birth will be animals. Ahara nidra bhaya maithunasya samannam etat pasubhi narana. Eating, sleeping, mating and defending. These four things are common between human beings and animals. There is no difference in this enjoyment. Human beings are also enjoying in these four ways. Animals are also enjoying in these four ways. So enjoyment is the same. So ahara nidra bhaya maithunasya samannam etat pasubhi narana. Dharma hi tesang adhika vishesha dharmena hina pasubhi samana. So then what is the difference between human beings and animals? Both are doing the same thing, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. And they are endeavoring throughout their life for these four things. Then actually there is no difference according to this endeavor. No difference between human beings and animals. So the difference it makes when a human being understands or questions what is his real dharma, what is his prescribed duty. Dharma hi tesang adhika vishesho dharmena hina pasubhi samana. Because the animals, they cannot inquire about their dharma or about their duty. They can act according to their nature. But a human being can inquire what is his duty. And even all human beings cannot inquire. Only few human beings can inquire what is their real duty, what is the goal of their life. That's why it has been stated that all the living entities, like 84 lakh species of life is there. They have different gradations according to consciousness. So, those who are in lower consciousness, they cannot inquire about the goal of life or about their duty. Like the plants and trees, they are also living entities. But they cannot inquire about the goal of their life because their consciousness is very low, covered consciousness. Their consciousness is covered. That's why when we cut a tree, it would not react. As if someone will hit us, immediately we will react. But a tree would not react because consciousness is covered. But tree has life. So in the same way, animals, they are in a developed stage from the trees and plants. Trees and plants have covered consciousness. But animals, they are little developed. So their consciousness is shrunken consciousness. they have developed consciousness more developed than the plants. They can react when they will be hit by someone. The animals would react. But they would not understand because their consciousness is sunken. Like suppose a dog is coming to us and we are trying to drive away that dog, and again that dog is coming, we will hit with a stick. The dog will go away, but after some time again it will come back. That means his consciousness is not developed, he does not understand that he is being hit, and this person does not want me here. So animals have sunken consciousness. They have feelings. They can react, but their consciousness is sunken. But human beings, they have three types of consciousness. Human beings have developed consciousness. That's why we can see there are three types of consciousness in human beings. And the human beings, according to consciousness, they behave differently. So, the lowest type of consciousness in human beings is budding consciousness. Like a bird, the consciousness is just budding, gradually developing from the covered or sunken stage. It is budding, gradually developing. But it is not fully blossomed. So that type of people, those who have consciousness, they will react and they have little understanding, but they don't inquire about the goal of their life. They behave like animals, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So that type of people cannot understand what is the goal of their life. So they cannot inquire. And then another type of human beings whose consciousness is blossomed. From the budding stage, it has blossomed. So that means they have higher consciousness or higher understanding. And because of that, they can realize that in course of enjoyment, material enjoyment, they can realize that they are suffering. And why they are suffering and how to get out of it, they can inquire. They can inquire about the goal of life. Because their consciousness is more developed. And there are another type of human beings, those whose consciousness is fully blossomed. That means they have fully understood the goal of life and they are working or acting in that platform to attain the goal of life. So in this way, two types of human beings, blossomed and fully blossomed, they have opportunity to understand the goal of life, to inquire about the goal of life, and act on that platform. They can act how to attain the goal of life. and they can attain perfection in due course of time. So, that's why here Maharaj Nimi is telling, Dullava Manusadeva. This human body is very rarely achieved. And even if one achieves a human body, again it will depend on his consciousness that he will inquire. So, it is the great fortune of someone who would inquire about the goal of life and act on that platform. So there are so many living entities, and especially human beings, and they perform some pious activity. So sometimes one may perform pious activity to make improvement in material enjoyment. So that type of pious activity is a karma kanda. Another type of pious activity where one endeavors for absolute knowledge and how to become one with the Supreme. That is Jnana Kanda. So that type of Sukruti is coming, that makes him make advancement in knowledge, in form of knowledge. But another type of pious activity is there, which leads to bhakti. That is bhakti unmukhi sukruti. So those persons who have done some pious activity which would lead towards bhakti in form of serving a devotee or helping a devotee or even getting darshan of the Supreme Lord, serving the Supreme Lord somehow or other in different ways. Like so many people, they are coming to the temple. They are getting darshan of the Lord. Some people are bringing garlands, flowers for the Lord. That means, though they are not performing devotional service, but they are creating their bhakti unmukhi sukruti. The pious activity they are creating which will lead them to bhakti. Or if someone is coming to get darshan of a devotee of the Lord, serving that devotee, he is also creating that bhakti unmukhi sukruti, the pious activity which will lead to bhakti. So that type of persons, they only get the opportunity to meet with a pure devotee of the Lord. Otherwise, we see the pure devotees are moving all over the world. But everyone is not taking that opportunity of meeting a pure devotee. Some people are taking that opportunity, some people are not. That means they don't have that bhakti unmukhi sukruti, those who are not taking. But those who have this bhakti unmukhi sukruti, they are actually availing that opportunity of getting darshan of the Supreme Lord, getting the devotee, pure devotee of the Supreme Lord, and following their instructions, by which they can attain the supreme destination, that is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So Maharaj Nimi is telling, Dullava Manusa Deha Dehinam Kshanabhangura. That's why this human body is very, very important. It, this is Dullabha, very rarely achieved. After many, many lifetimes, we get a human birth. And then that human birth is also Kshanabhangura. It will also not last for a longer period. And we don't know when our death will come. Sometimes we may calculate or we may live for these many years, but we don't know. Death can come at any moment. That's why every moment of our life is very precious. And we have to utilize that moment in the service of the Supreme Lord. By hearing about Him, by glorifying Him, by serving Him, by taking His holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this way, our life can be successful when we avail this opportunity. So Maharaj Nimi is telling that this human birth is rare and it is also temporary. We don't know when it will end. So before death comes, we have to utilize this human form of life in cultivating Krishna consciousness, which is the goal of our life. And then how can we cultivate this Krishna consciousness? By getting association of a pure devotee of the Lord. That's why next he says, Tatrapi dullabham manne Vaikuntha priyadarsana. And again, to get a pure devotee of the Lord who is Vaikuntha Priya, who is very dear to the Lord of Vaikuntha, or Vaikuntha is who's dear. So, this Vaikuntha Priya means pure devotee of the Lord. To get their darshan is very rare, rarely achieved. Like Srila Prabhupada, he is Vaikuntha Priya, the dear devotee of the Lord, who travel all over the world to preach Krishna consciousness. And many, many fortunate souls, just by getting darshan of Srila Prabhupada, just by hearing from him, just by associating with him, just by serving him in different ways, they all attend the opportunity to become devotees of the Lord. But there were also many unfortunate souls, those who did not avail that opportunity at that time. So, this is the Lord's arrangement, that when a great devotee leaves, Lord sends another great devotee. And so many devotees, they come, and their only mission is just to deliver the fallen conditioned souls of this age. Just to create that atmosphere in this material world by which everyone can get the opportunity to hear about Krishna, serve Krishna, and go back to Krishna. So here, that's why Maharaj Nimi is telling that this is my great fortune, that I have got darshan of yours, the Yogendras, who are very dear to the Lord of Vaikuntha. And because of this, I can perfect my life. And whatever questions he asked to the Yogendras, And that will benefit the whole mankind. Because that is coming through Bhagavatam. All these answers they are going to give. And that is going to benefit the whole world. So that's why when the great devotees meet, they have these questions and answers, which benefits the whole world. And this is all meant for the benefit for the human beings. That's why it has been stated that those who are very, very fortunate, because this human life is very rare and it is very short. That's why we have to make use of this human life to go back to Krishna and end this cycle of birth and death. Because all this material enjoyment we are going through, we have enjoyed this in all these different lifetimes. And still we have not become satisfied. So in one more lifetime, if we will just go on this material enjoyment, it is sure that we will never be satisfied. That's why those who are very intelligent, they take to this Krishna consciousness and make their life perfect. Hare Krishna. So we'll stop here. Any comments or questions? Yeah.
Maharaj, to get the human body is Durlabha.
Yeah.
But it is our karma. To get the human body is our karma, right? But to get the association of the devotees is karma or mercy?
How mercy is coming? The devotees are going around to give mercy. But everyone is not availing that mercy. Some people are availing, some are not availing. Why? Because they don't have that sukruti. Like the three types of sukruti I described. Ajnata sukruti. That pious deed which leads to bhakti. So if someone has that pious deed which leads to bhakti, then when he will see a great soul, he will avail that opportunity immediately. But those who have known that pious deed, they may see a great soul, they will not recognize him. They may criticize him and thus create offense. So that's why everyone does not get this.
That means the Sukriti is good karma?
Good karma, I described three types of karma. Good karma means like that you can get a higher birth, nice facilities, material facilities. That is good karma. But that type of a karma which leads to devotion, that is needed to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord and the mercy of the pure devotees. Is it okay? Okay, we'll stop here. We're 5 minutes late. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada Ji Maharaj ki, Jai Gaurav Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Pramanande Hari.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,